because I'm not sure if we touched on it earlier, was your forte or like your skill in terms of options and specifically hidden shuffle flat. So, what made you go with hidden shuffle flat, and like what was options like to you?
I don't know if you have this in another video where it kind of first started with me with Jim and one time hanging out in Broadway City. This was Seventh Mix days where Jim had we just started talking for a little bit, and I was still really like novice coming up, and he had like introduced drifting away on hidden shuffle flat for me to kind of like see what I can do, and that was like the first taste of it. But a lot of it was when you and Andre started doing the things that you guys are doing. I knew I don't think I have enough mental energy to like try to keep up. Like they're wilding. Like, all right, usually when we see you do something, you're like, I this is what you're trying to do. Like,
yeah.
For me, it was like, I see what you're trying to do. like you got it, man. But I'm like, I gotta still stay relevant. Like, I gotta still do something I know that like is respectable, right? And it's still usable if there is an options tournament and I decide to go. Like, I just be like that hidden shuffle guy. So I remember I would start working on songs, and I think I would either go to Laser Park or I'll go to Chinatown and stuff like that. Definitely NYDS days. I would go to NYDS and just, it's free play, and I would pick the most stupidest, slowest songs. I would pick songs like Jam Jam Reggae that would mess people up, that has jackhammers in it, and then I would think about like just songs that had little small bumps on the road that would really do something, like even fast songs on Hidden Shuffle Flat, like Be Lovin'. Remember that song?
Was that one of those songs with the background?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah. And I'm like, this is more natural to me than like trying to hold onto the bar and like open my eyes and evolve into a new person because you're putting like Afronova on like 5x boost, whatever. I just knew I just could not do that at that point. And even if I really did try, I would still not catch up. Mm-hmm. So I went the other way. And I actually really did enjoy Hidden Shuffle Flat because no one else played it. No one else played it like the way I did, And I knew if there was an options tournament, like, all right, I'm going to get bodied probably, most likely by one of these guys. But, like, I'm going to show people in that tournament, like, yo, like, this guy's doing some crazy stuff. Like, let's pay attention to this guy. Like, yeah, these two, they're doing fast stuff, but he's taking it to the other end of the spectrum.
The thing was, like, I think it was, like, intrinsic that you thought, like, to beat somebody in DDR, you had to tire them out. Like, even if you picked PSMO or Max 300 when they were still difficult to us, you would pick it on people sometimes just because you knew they didn't have the stamina to do it. Like, you probably picked unlimited on people, not even for the perfects. You were able to do really well, but you were like, they can't even do it. So everybody was focused on stamina, and then with these 10-footers on boost, shuffle, S4R, whatever, it was more stamina, and nobody was thinking like. It was like nobody was thinking about the mental mind game.
Yeah,
hidden was. There was no stamina. Like a lot of the stuff you did, electro tuned and like My Summer Love. There's not stamina, but like it's just like, oh look, I got this KitchenAid mixer. I'm gonna scramble your shit. Like,
and that's what I really wanted to like emphasize is that in the city, while everyone was doing fast, stamina, there was very few of us. And I think I can honestly say I was the only one at that point getting the scores that I was getting on Hidden Shuffle Flat. There is a memory of mine that I give to Reflex, and it was in a 2005 tournament. I feel like there was some options available in that tournament.
Which
the 2005 tech tournament
for Digital Life, the one that I won. Yeah, there was
options.
Yeah,
and. The one memory, and this what kind of did it for me, where it's like, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Go ahead.
And he is such a smart player. He is really given like a lot of
Reflex.
Yeah, I forgot who he was playing.
He was playing.
Might have been Pickles.
He was playing Chris Fire.
Chris Fire. And the song was Wild Rush.
Yep.
And there's a part in Wild Rush towards the end. Well, somewhere in the middle, like the. whatever, right?
While Russ keeps changing, it goes faster and faster, and like the second or third tempo change.
Yeah. And like the notes they're off. Like
they fall on they fall on the eighth of a note, but they're separated by a quarter of a note. So it's really just like a step, but they're falling off the beat.
And he did that on Hidden Shuffle Flat.
Yeah.
And he tippy-toed the whole entire time very quietly, so Chris Fire couldn't hear the tempo because Chris Fire was missing it. Like he couldn't capture it. And I looked and I'm like amazed by this kid's guitar. He's just like literally just quietly tippy-toeing. And he's like turning around because he read the arrows coming above, so he was already playing this. Yeah. You know? So he knew the step pattern was coming up, and I think at one point it was like your turn, like, you know, it gets you going around, and he just turns around and he knew. Yep. And I was like, you were right next to me. Yep. I think you were like, yo, that's...
It was one of the smartest things at the time. We hadn't seen anything like that, and I think that yeah, man, like, I don't know, Chris Fire, I think the hidden just threw him off, and he forgot the assist tick for that particular point in time. And I remember Reflex, it's just, Brendan is mad funny. He saw what happened. He saw Chris miss the first couple steps, so he didn't want Chris to catch on to his steps. So he put his hands up.
Put his hands up,
and he just started going. And then Chris, you just see his life bar go away because he was falling on the fourth of the quarter of a note. I mean, we're not musicians, we're not like music theory.
Yeah, you get it. If you play DDR, you know what we're talking about.
But like he just like tiptoed and Chris failed because up until then, Chris was, you know, I don't think Chris was doing any worse than him. But yeah, I do remember that Hidden Shuffle Flat created some weird stuff. There was some weird things to do in Hidden Shuffle Flat. Oh man.